Hey guys, it's your girl Style with Blessing. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm teaching you all how to draft a basic sleeve pattern, both the long sleeve and the short sleeve. If you see me for the first time on your screen, kindly like, subscribe and join the family. If you love fashion and this is what you're into, also subscribe to the family. All right ladies, let's dive right into the video for today. So the first thing we are going to be doing to get our sleeve is to get our starting points. So the next thing will be drawing is our bicep line. Now from this our starting point, I'm going to be coming down by 4 inches. You can use 4.5, you can use 5 inches. Then I'm taking our ruler. So this is going to be the height of our sleeve cap. Because this is a short sleeve, the next line I'll be drawing will be the length of my sleeve, where I want my sleeve to end. For me, my short sleeve, I love to make my short sleeve to be at 8 inches. I do not want it very long. So I'm going to be marking 8 inches. And I also love to add my allowance, my folding allowance, which is 1 inch. And we just mark it there. So now I have the starting line, the biceps, and the length of the sleeve. Next thing I'm going to do is to come at the top of the starting line. I'll be coming in by 4 inches. Just watch me closely. Mark my 4 inches right here. Now we'll come to the bicep line. Now the measurement around your bicep, you're going to divide it into 2. My bicep divided into 2 will give me 5.5 inches. And this is because the measurement around my bicep is 11. But now I'm going to be adding extra 1.5 inches to this for sewing allowance. So we'll be marking our bicep, which is 5.5. Here is my 5.5. And I'll be adding the extra 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. This is it right here. We are going to be having a curve leading from this point down here. Remember this measurement we got here was 4 inches. I'll just put my rule here, take a measurement down to the bicep line. Whatever I get, I'll be dividing it by 2. So you divide by 2 like this. I'm making a dot there. So just make a point like this. The next thing you're going to do is to connect a point from this middle point to meet this point here and then downward. So I'll just go ahead and show you all how to do that with my curve ruler. So you curve it like this from this point down. And then you take it to the point where you have your 1.5 inches. Place your curve like this and then you rule. And then you blend these parts together. So we'll be using our marker to just do that. You see, like this. It's like this. Then you just blend this part. Guys, make sure you are smoothing this area where your curve meets. You can see we have a very nice curve here. I'll be trimming this excess because I don't want you all to be confused. Now for my round sleeve, the round arm measurement, what I have for myself is 10 inches. So I'll be placing it here, divided by 2 is 5. I'm also adding 1.5 inches sewing allowance. So this is my adding my extra 1.5 inch for stitching allowance like I did earlier. And then we are going to join these together. So ladies, this is basically all for drafting of our short sleeve. But the last thing I always do is to measure my round armhole to be sure that it is correct. So we'll just place our tape like this, go like this, go like this. And you can see here I have 8.5 inches on my round hole measurement. And you can see the rest inches are the allowances I gave it earlier while I was drafting. You need to make sure you're adding allowance before you cut your sleeve, and when you are done, make sure you are measuring it to be sure you have allowance before cutting. So you can see how it looks like right now. So let's just go ahead and cut out our sleeve. Do not forget that this sleeve is in a fold. Now this is what the short sleeve pattern looks like. So now we'll go ahead and cut the long form of the sleeve. So we'll be cutting our long sleeve pattern using the same method. The first thing we'll be doing is to get our starting line. And from the starting line, I'll be going down to 4 inches, just like I did on the short sleeve. Remember, this line is our bicep, just in case you didn't get it when I was drafting the short sleeve. After this line, the next line I'll be drafting is from our starting line. I'll be measuring down from my shoulder to my elbow. So I'll be placing my tape on the starting line, and I'll be measuring and I'll be marking my elbow length here. So what I have for me is 11 inches. So you just mark it on both sides so you can have a straight line. You need to take your elbow measurement here because this is a long sleeve. Now I'll be drawing another line again. This is the length I want the sleeve to be because this is a long sleeve. You can go as long as 22, 23, 24, but because of the length of this my paper, I'll be stopping it at 17 inches. So we'll mark our 17. We'll place it here also, and we'll mark 17 line. So this line represents where you want your sleeve to end. This is your starting line, this is your bicep, this is your elbow, and this is the end of your sleeve, the length of your sleeve. So these are just the basic thing that differentiates the long sleeve from the short sleeve. Now on the cap area, it's going to be the same thing like we did on the short sleeve. I'm going to be dividing the measurement of my bicep into 2. When I divided it, it gave me 11, which is 5.5 plus 1.5 inches. So this is exactly 1.5 inches for my sewing allowance. So on the starting line here, from the middle, you come in by 4 inches. Place your tape on that 4 inches to any point on your bicep and just get the midpoint. Then you place a dart there. I didn't get this part earlier when I was explaining before. Please try to pay as much attention to get it now. The first thing we'll be doing is to make a curve from this midpoint here to meet this point, and then to go down to this point, and we'll be using our curve ruler for that. What you do is to make sure you are placing your curve ruler to meet this point, and then you mark, you stop, you take your curve ruler this way, and then you stop and you just blend this in. You've gotten your cap area. On the elbow line here, the measurement around my elbow is 9 inches, and half of that is 4.5. I'll be marking 4.5 here, and I'll be adding extra 1.5 inches to that for my sewing allowance. So you need to add stitching allowances to the side. So from this, you are going to be rolling from this your cap down to your elbow area like this. Now it's time to measure my wrist. My round wrist is 7 inches, divided by 2 is 3.5. I'll be marking my 3.5 here, and I'll still be adding the extra 1.5 inches I've always added. Basically all for the drafting of the long sleeve pattern. I I hope you find this video very educative and very helpful as you are starting your fashion journey. If you do, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, share this video with a friend, and drop a comment for me in the comment section. So you just trim out the excess. When you're cutting your sleeve, make sure you are following the shape of your cap. Take your time when you're doing this. You can watch this video over and over again to make sure you get the sleeve cutting correctly. So guys, this is all we have for cutting our long sleeve and our short sleeve pattern. Remember to fold your pattern into 2 while cutting. Guys, that'll be all for today's video. If you find this video very educative and very helpful, do not forget to like, subscribe, share this video with a friend, and drop a comment for me. I'll see you all in my next video. God bless you. For now, bye. Much love.